Established in 2017, Octominer is an international mining hardware company. They manufacture and engineer the best mining equipment in the industry and supply rigs to some of the largest mining farms around the world. Their GPU mining rigs also integrate with the top crypto operating systems like HiveOS, MinerStat, and Simple Mining. All parts come with an international 1-year warranty. Exciting news! They will be adding ASIC miners for sale to their website soon and launching a new product built specifically for ASIC home miners. Please visit octominer.com or email support@octominer.com for questions.
U.S. judge says the Celsius network owns most customer crypto deposits. Yes, you heard that right. This is also coming from Reuters. Pretty crazy precedent here getting set. A U.S. bankruptcy judge ruled on Wednesday that Celsius Network owns most of the cryptocurrency that customers deposited into its online platform, meaning most Celsius customers will be last in line for repayment in the crypto lender's bankruptcy. The ruling by U.S. bankruptcy judge Martin Glenn in New York affects approximately 600,000 accounts that held assets valued at $4.2 billion when Celsius filed for bankruptcy in July. The company does not have enough funds to fully repay those deposits, Glenn wrote. The ruling means that most Celsius customers will be lower priority than customers who held non-interest-bearing accounts and other secured creditors. It was unclear whether Celsius had significant secured debt. The ruling also prevents infighting for higher priority among customers with interest-bearing accounts, avoiding a situation in which some of the customers are repaid 100% of their deposits, while similarly situated customers are able to recover only a small percentage of their deposits, according to Glenn. Celsius's terms of service made clear that the crypto lender took ownership of customers' deposits into its interest-bearing earn accounts, according to Glenn. That means that earn customers will be treated as unsecured creditors in Celsius's bankruptcy, and they will be last in line for repayment after Celsius repays higher priority debts. It is extremely important that you guys look at these terms of services when you sign up for these kind of CeFi programs. I remember we had talked about this before as it pertained to BlockFi, right? Which is one of the reasons we were like gun shy around BlockFi, was because it had similar stuff in their terms of service. And Celsius, obviously, no shock here. I didn't do much research on Celsius. I didn't pay attention to it when it was a thing. But unfortunately, it appears to have the same thing. And if it is in that terms of service, it looks like, they're going to rule in favor of these companies, It's super disappointing, but it is at the same time completely expected. And it's a lot. It's not even, what's crazy is it's not even just not your keys, not your crypto. It's like clearly stated that if you give them your money, you're giving them your money, right? So it's like, it's extra dumb to have missed, out on these terms of services and these types of things. And definitely one of the things that's going to be needed to pay attention to in anything that's centralized moving forward, right? To a very close extent, right? We're going to have to make sure that especially like content creators and such are paying attention to these types of things. I mean, really to the point to where, as a content creator, I don't really want to even take on a lot of crypto sponsors. We took on a crypto sponsor for tax filing, but at least that's all US dollar payment. And then as far as it's a tool to go through your exchange information and your wallet information and pull the data. There could, of course, always end up being a situation where there's, some sort of malware smart contract plug that's in one of those though as well, which could be, something that hindsight that you completely miss. It's very difficult to take on any crypto sponsors, in my humble opinion, as a content creator, or crypto related sponsors. 12 US states and the District of Columbia had objected to Celsius's bid to claim the digital assets. They argued, among other things, that it was unclear if customers understood the terms of service and that Celsius was under investigation in several states for violating regulations, which could arguably prevent the company from relying on terms of use. The ruling does not mean that earned customers will get nothing in the bankruptcy case, and it does not stop further challenges to Celsius's ownership of the crypto deposits, Glenn wrote. Now, obviously, this is going to definitely continue to be fought against. I think you'll see them take it further and try to reverse this ruling, because it's pretty ridiculous in the first place, in my humble opinion. And I think it will get taken further, but into the court system, but we'll have to see. Celsius customers may be able to bring fraud or breach of contract claims against the crypto lender, which would be a completely separate charge. I think like breach of contract would definitely be that, because if the contract says, well, you give us the money, but it's our money, but we did also in return claim to pay you back this amount, X amount, and we never did, then, maybe there's a breach of contract in there somewhere, right? And state regulators may be able to make the case that the account holders' contracts cannot be enforced because they violated state securities laws according to the ruling. Quote, the court does not take lightly the consequences of this decision on ordinary individuals, many of whom deposited significant savings into the Celsius platform, Glenn wrote. Creditors will have every opportunity to have a full hearing on the merits of these arguments during the claims resolution process. The ruling authorizes Celsius to sell approximately $18 million of stablecoins that had been held in customers' earn accounts. In December, Glenn ruled that a relatively small group of customers with different kinds of Celsius accounts were entitled to their deposits back during Celsius's bankruptcy. That ruling was limited to customers who had non-interest-bearing custody accounts, whose funds were not commingled with other Celsius assets, and whose accounts were too small for Celsius to seek to claw them back to repay other customers. The broader question of who owns crypto assets is a critical one in other crypto bankruptcies as well, including cases of crypto lenders Voyager Digital and BlockFi. And to be honest, whatever is decided in this Celsius will definitely relate to BlockFi, in my humble opinion, and probably Voyager Digital as well. They have very similar terms of service to Celsius. And I think whatever flows through this will flow down, of course, at the end of the day to BlockFi. The real question here is like, what ends up happening? What ends up happening at the end of the day? Because we also this comes down negatively on crypto as a whole, even though it's clear that it is against the fundamentals of crypto. So what do I mean by that? Well, as we've always stated before, a centralized exchange has one pure job, and that is to attach essentially the old world, the fiat systems, with the cryptocurrency, with the new world, the new digital payment systems. And that is pretty much its only job, in my humble opinion, that I would ever utilize one for. And the reasoning behind this, of course, is that you need something to be able to transfer in and out of. And whenever you do, you adhere to the old laws, right? You adhere to the fiat system. And as it pertains to digital assets and so on, I would never utilize some third party that centralizes everything to earn for some sort of DeFi, because then I have less control. And how this plays out, though, will inevitably be an attack on crypto as a whole, unfortunately, and there will be regulations surrounding it that probably hurt the ability for cryptocurrency to be essentially exchanged for fiat currency at the end of the day, and it'll probably be a huge attack on stable coins as well. And this is where I think the big question comes into play: is the ruling that authorized Celsius to sell the $18 million worth of stable coins that were being held in earn accounts to basically fund themselves, or fund the bankruptcy. So if the stable coins at this point that were put into these earn accounts are basically established as essentially some form of a security that could have a huge impact on DeFi as a whole. And we'll kind of have to play this out and wait. I'd like to hear your thoughts and opinions, of course, in the live chat and the comment section below. I mean, moral of the story, as it always goes, right? Not your keys, not your crypto. But to compound on that even further, like, look, crypto isn't here to integrate with the old world. It's here to replace it. And the entire idea that everybody wants to avoid responsibility of holding their own crypto and basically just give that responsibility to a third party so they can hold somebody accountable for it is the exact reason everything else is so jacked up in the first place in the old world. Okay? So take some damn responsibility for yourself. Store your crypto. If you don't know how to do it, go learn how to do it. If you don't want to do it and that's not your thing, then get out. Get out. Nobody wants some sort of like system that's still integrated with fiat. That's not the point of why we're in here. This isn't why Bitcoin was founded. This isn't the reason was to get out of this system that was destroying people's livelihoods. And look what happens. Everybody goes into a centralized system like Celsius. They get screwed over and then they go, oh, why did I get screwed over? Because it was centralized. It went against the fundamentals of crypto. It went against everything it stood for. And of course it will fail when it does that. End of story. Thanks for checking out this clip from the Crypto Mining Show. You can check out the full episode here or more crypto content down here. Also, I'd like you to check out my locals page at sonofatech.locals.com where you can become a member for free or choose to be a $5 a month supporter that unlocks additional content.